Matte, satin, or gloss vinyl? Which one should you pick? This is our vinyl right here. We have our gloss vinyl, our satin vinyl, and our matte vinyl. And this is all from Avery Dennison. So take a look there. Avery Dennison, and lastly, Avery Dennison. The reason I'm only using Avery Dennison for this is because I want to see how do these different finishes install. Now, if we use different brands, obviously different brands install differently. So by only using one brand, we're controlling for a bunch of different variables, and we're just going to see, does the finish of these films affect how it installs? Let's jump right into it. We're going to take our Avery Gloss vinyl. Gloss vinyl is definitely the easiest film to install, and that's not to say the other two are difficult. It's just that the gloss vinyl is much more forgiving. So if you make any mistakes or have any imperfections in your wrap, gloss vinyl is the best at hiding them. Okay, so they're all done. The first thing that you'll notice when I did that was that they all install exactly the same. If you have a simple panel, you're not really stretching, there's no difference between gloss, satin, or matte. It's all the same difficulty. The difference is if you make a mistake, which one is the best at hiding it? One of the mistakes you can make is not cleaning the panel properly or not having proper dust control and letting contaminants get under the vinyl. Now here, I've done that for all three of them, and you can see how it looks the most noticeable on the satin and the matte. The gloss, you can kind of get away with it. Take a look. Right here, we have some dirt or debris, dust, whatever, trapped underneath the film, and you can see it's kind of noticeable, especially when the light hits it. Okay, it's right there. Let's check the satin. When we come over here, look at that. Look how much that stands out. Much more than the gloss. Now let's go to the matte. And here, sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see that from a mile away. So again, this is the matte film. This will show all of your mistakes and all of the flaws much more than the other two. But that doesn't mean it's a bad film. Definitely not. It just means that if you make a mistake, you're going to notice it more. So who makes the most mistakes? Obviously, that's beginners. Beginners make the most mistakes because they're still learning. So matte vinyl is the hardest to learn on. I mean, obviously there's chrome, but we're not talking about that. If you just want to get used to how vinyl feels, how it stretches, for sure, start with gloss vinyl because it'll hide all those imperfections or mistakes that you make. Another mistake that you can make is overstretching the film. I'm going to pull this up now, give it some heat just to loosen it, and I'm going to overstretch the film, and you'll see what happens to gloss vinyl when it's overstretched. Okay. So I'm going to have to put some light on this so you can see. But when you overstretch a gloss film, and you can tell it's overstretched because look, the vinyl went like this. Now it's coming in because we pulled down. Once you overstretch a gloss film, it starts turning matte. This is going to be difficult to see because it is gloss film and it hides a lot of mistakes. But look right here, okay? Look at that nice shiny finish. You can see in the background there, you know, it looks like a mirror a bit, looks like regular paint, very reflective. If we come here, now you see this line. Okay, this is a glue line and where we started overstretching. Look what happens when you come down here. See how dull it looks in the background? Up here, it looks nice and clear. Again, like regular paint, you can see a nice reflection. When you come down here, look at that. It's all muddied and faded. Okay, that's because we overstretched the gloss and now it's become matte. But, you know, if you do this on certain angles, you might not notice it. This is pretty obvious because it's right in the middle. But that's what it looks like. So gloss hides that. If we do that on the satin and the matte, it'll be way more noticeable. So let's do it. We're going to take our satin first. Lift this up. Pretending we're overstretching. Not pretending, we are overstretching. Let's really stretch this. And now we're going to do the same to the matte. This, come down here and stretch. Okay, this is our satin film, obviously. Now, there is no reflection. Look at the gloss, see? Nice and shiny. There is no reflection in satin like that, just a little sheen. So we look here, we can see our light, you know, it's not very clear, kind of, you want to say orange peel, but it's not because it's satin, but just a little faded, right? Look at that line where I stretch. Now watch what happens. Look, let's look at, we're going to keep half the light here and half the light below. Look at that difference. See, cloudy, a little bit of sheen from the satin, and much more shiny. You can see how much brighter it is down here. That's the line where we stretched it. That's the glue line. So look, regular satin, and then look how much brighter that gets. Look at that difference. That's the effect of overstretching satin film. It becomes more glossy. Look at matte now. Matte, look here, has no reflection at all, right? Go through our phases. Nice mirror reflection, a little bit of reflection because it's satin, and then no reflection. Like we don't even see, we just know there's a light source, but we can't even tell where. But once we overstretch it, come down here below our stretch line, look at that. You can actually see the circle for where the light is. You might be thinking, Lucas, that's not that bad. And I agree, it doesn't look that bad here, but switch angles on a matte film and look at that. Like that is an egregious overstretch, right? A nice line through your vinyl, and it's shiny too. That's what I was saying. When you overstretch matte, it becomes shiny. Look at that shine right there compared to the matte finish around it. It's just really, really bad, and it sticks out like crazy. Now we know that they install pretty much all the same, but gloss vinyl is the most forgiving. I mean, that's good to know. It's not like satin or matte are more difficult. It's just that if you make a mistake, it's going to show it more, which kind of sucks, but you know, it's not like it's impossible to install. But what's it like actually living with the vinyl? What's it like keeping it clean? What's it like as a daily driver? I'll tell you right now that gloss vinyl is the easiest to live with. It's the easiest to keep looking brand new, looking like you just got it wrapped. And in the worst case scenario that you have some scratches or damage that just won't come out, I mean, most of it gets taken out by heat and the sun, it heals it. But if that's not working, there are some instances where you can actually polish gloss vinyl. Can't do that with satin or matte. So let's look at a simple thing like oil from your fingertips or, I don't know, regular grease on the road, how much it stands out. Now, this might be a little gross, but I'm going to take some sweat from my head because it's hot in here, you know, a little oily, and I'll show you what that looks like on the vinyl. So we'll use my gross, oily hand and put a nice fingerprint here. You can kind of see it right there, like a little greasy. We'll do that on the satin. Get a bit of grease, we'll put it right here. Kind of see it, you know, on certain angles. You see how much darker it is in the area surrounding. But on the matte, brutal, like really, really bad. So that's just, you know, people come up and be like, nice car, and they touch your wrap. That's what's going to happen to your matte wrap. It's so frustrating. If we compare all three, it's easy to see where the stain is on the matte. A bit harder on the satin, it's around here. And on the gloss, you could kind of see a bit of it right there. Road grime, oil, dirt, grease, all that stuff is going to be way worse, way more noticeable on your matte finish than the satin or the gloss. So you have to be prepared for that. You have to be really diligent in washing your car, getting that dirt off, because like even bird poop, that could stain it for like permanently. You need to be aware of that. If you're not someone who like frequently washes their car, I would definitely not recommend a matte film. But also, there are certain products to help you. I'm not trying to sell this, like I'm not sponsored or anything, but I'm just saying this is an example of a product that offers some protection because it kind of acts as a cleaner. And then I don't want to say it's a ceramic coat, but it protects the vinyl a little bit. Does that affect the vinyl wrap's longevity? No, meaning it's all Avery Dennison, so it'll all last, 5 to 7 years. However, any matte car that I've wrapped, usually the customer comes back to get it rewrapped because it's stained now, right? So it's not like the vinyl's failing, or it's not like it's peeling up or it's cracking. None of that happens, but typically the finish looks bad because of poor maintenance. So they're choosing to get it fixed instead of the vinyl actually failed and they need to get it fixed. That should obviously factor into the cost for wrapping this, because if you're changing out the wrap more frequently, like you're going to a shop to get it done, it's going to cost you more because you're only keeping it on for like 2 or 3 years as opposed to 5 to 7 years, right? So over time, you're going to be spending more for those matte films. But if you take care of it, it'll last the same. And the vinyl doesn't really cost more. I mean, all of these colors, they're all within 50 to 75 bucks of each other. And that's for like a full roll. If none of that matters to you and all you care about is the aesthetics, then I would pick a gloss film for you want that paint-like finish, that OEM look. I would pick satin to kind of have that bit of a sheen, stand out a little, but not too much, be a little bit subtle. And then matte is for that aggressive, really sharp looking vehicle. They stand out much more than regular gloss and satin, I find. They're much more noticeable, much more head turning, but they're much more maintenance. So just be aware of that. That's it, guys. I hope this video helped demonstrate the differences between gloss, satin, and matte vinyl. Hopefully it helped you figure out which one's going to be best for your project. Like always, if you have any questions, please just ask in the comments, and thanks for watching.